Hey everybody, welcome to TIW Podcast. I'm Eric, and today I watched Survivor Island of the Idols. That's season 39, episode 3. Honesty Would Be Chill. This is broadcast on October 9th, 2019. Okay, I love this episode. Go watch this episode if you haven't seen it yet, and spoilers start now. All right. Where to start? At the beginning of the episode, we have a little bit of focus on the Lyro Girls Alliance. They have their vicious chant there in the ocean, and the guys are starting to catch on. Like they're getting along really well. Maybe we should get along well too. And Vince is like, yeah, we should, yeah. And then as soon as he's alone with the camera, those guys suck. Karishma cuts open her hand, and like nobody cares, and she perceives that nobody cares. She's maybe a little bit over dramatic about it because it ends up like not being a big deal at all. But with the preview, she was like, I could see the bone and stuff like that. I thought, man, that could be a medical evacuation. But I think that was an exaggeration, probably. It was probably just some glistening sunlight glinting off the blood that looked like a white piece of bone. I don't know. Or maybe the bones are so close to the surface anyway that like it's probably fine. I don't know. But anyway, Vince is the one who's chosen to go to Island of the Idols. So he did not pick from the bag who would go the next time. It looks like, jumping ahead from the preview, they have to choose. They have to decide among themselves over on Vokai who will go next. So that would be interesting. Kelly seemed especially concerned, but we'll get to that. Spoilers, Kelly is not voted out in this episode. So, Vince goes to Island of the Idols, and he is overwhelmed with how amazing it is that Boston Rob and Sandra are there and all of that. And his, appropriately, his lesson is staying calm under pressure. And so he accepts the task of sneaking into the other tribe's camp at night and stealing fire. And he goes through a whole training session. Boston Rob is loving it, like being like holding the shot of him holding the stick that they could army crawl underneath, or belly crawl, or whatever you call it. Rob just looks like he's having the best time of his life. Like they admit that they trained way harder than they really needed to for this, but it looked like so much fun. And so he goes into the camp at night, and their fire is dead. And so he collects a bunch of ash in his water bottle to prove that he was there, since he couldn't light the torch that he took with him to do that. The tribe, a couple of people on the tribe like woke up and started looking around and stuff like that. But I think it was to Vince's advantage that there are always camera people around. So they probably just saw the camera person who was aiming their camera right at them. Thought, oh, right, that's cool. And then also one of the girls, or maybe it wasn't a girl. I don't know. They had a nightmare and woke up and was like kind of screaming and stuff. That would, oh my God. I have never thought about that before. And I think this might be one of the first times they've probably shown people having nightmares before or waking up for a nightmare or something. But I kind of feel like this might be the first time that they've shown that. Somebody waking up from a night. I think they've definitely talked about having nightmares and stuff before, but actually showing it, that I never really thought about that, and that would be absolutely terrifying. I think to have a nightmare and then wake up and it's another nightmare that you're actually in. I'm here on a beach. I'm out in the wilderness and there's bugs and everything. Like the bugs part isn't, but you know. It's not like you're waking up in the comfort of bed at home, and you have your pets or your loved ones around you to be like, oh, okay, is everything okay? No, you're out here with strangers in the jungle on an island. That'd be awful. But anyway, he gets back to the island of the idols, and they reward him because it's not his fault that the fire is out, and he proved that he could stay calm and adapt to the situation, and that was enough to earn an idol that is good for 2 tribal councils. So then we go over. Oh, the whole thing was like a heist because they had a whole map and they were talking about like the best way to get into the camp and all. Like, I freaking love this. Anyway, we get to the immunity challenge, which is also really cool. We had Elizabeth and Janet swim for their tribes. The first part of this, they had to swim all the way across this underneath this obstacle course thing, or this contraption. It was a teeter-totter contraption. They had to swim under that to the other end, and untie a buoy with a key. I think it was a key on that buoy. So once they did, the rest of them that were on the starting line could then swim and climb up onto this teeter-totter, and then out over each end of the teeter-totter was a bag of I don't think it was the puzzle pieces themselves. I think it was other keys. So I think they needed the 3 keys total to unlock the puzzle pieces at the top, because it was a big puzzle, not like huge, but big enough that I don't think any of the pieces were actually in those things. But yeah, this teeter-totter thing, that was really cool. They had to work together, coordinate to keep the balance so that the teeter-totter didn't like just dip down and dump everybody off either side of it. Or yeah, it was. I thought that was really cool. And people having to like climb over each other because they're stuck on a 2D plane, basically, to be able to pass each other. They have to actually like climb over one another, and that was a really cool aspect of it too. So Lyra was doing incredibly because Janet got hung up on trying to untie that thing. She had to go down multiple times, and that gave Lyra quite a bit of a lead. But then Karishma was doing the puzzle, and she was not getting it at all. Vokai, it just clicked. I forget who was doing the puzzle for that tribe. Yeah, I can't remember at all. But it really quick. Everybody was able to help by like saying, "Oh, put this one there, put this one there." But only one person was actually like putting the pieces in place, I think, or maybe 1 or 2 people maybe. And yeah, Vokai pulled out the win. It came from behind. It was a hanging puzzle, like of a fish, like a really big fish. It was like 5. It was a real big fish. It was like 5 feet tall, 2 feet wide, something like that. And so Vokai, they get their win back, and I love that this alternating wins so far. We get so much coverage of everybody on the show when this happens. It's great. So Lyra back at camp. As soon as Vince left, Dean was like, "Oh, so we split the votes, right?" And I think it was maybe Chelsea or Elizabeth. They're like, "We're all here. We're all here." It's like, oh, oops. There's people who I would not be working with who I just said that to everybody. But they do end up splitting the votes because I think Vince might have gotten an idol, and he did, but he didn't play it. Oh, man. I was so happy for Vince this whole episode, and then boom, gone. He got 5 votes. Karishma got 3, and Tom only got 1 vote, and I think that 1 vote was from Karishma. Man, or maybe that 1 vote was from Vince. That 1 vote probably was from Vince. I wasn't paying attention when they were writing down the votes. But Yeah, I'm so happy for Vince, but then also so bummed for Vince. But this is an epic episode for him. Uh, so awesome, and the challenge is great. And I love this show so much. When this show isn't great, I still love it. When it's top when it's top notch, oh my god, nothing else comes close. So yeah, oh, I gotta make another pick. No, I'm not. I'm gonna stick with my three for each tribe now. They'll stay in place because nobody else really uh slides into that slot for me. That sounds weird. Um, Nobody else really rose to the occasion for me to be excited about in Vince's place moving forward. Next week, maybe we'll see if I am more excited about somebody else next week. But that leaves Elizabeth and Chelsea as my top picks. Still my top picks over on Lyro, and then my three picks on Vokai are my original two of Tommy and Jack. Although, like that they haven't really had much development with each other. It seems like, actually, they've kind of been divided after last week's tribal council. Since Jack was blindsided, Tommy is trying to repair his relationships with Jamal and Jack after they were blindsided with getting rid of Molly. But yeah, I think those two and Kelly. I think Kelly more so than those two now. So yeah, we'll see where things go from here. I think it's let's see. I think Vokai has to. That's right, because Kelly was shown there being really concerned that this could ruin her game. But Vokai decides who will be on their who will be going to Island of the Idols, and I think who would they choose to go as a collectively? Who would they choose to go? I don't know. How would they even decide? They have to like just figure out how they decide among themselves. Maybe they'll send Kelly back, and because they're like we know she's already been there, so what's the harm in having her go there and get an idol or get another idol or whatever? Then we know for sure, like, she definitely has an idol. So let's flush out that idol. Like, that seems like a smart strategy from those who haven't been to Isle of the Idols and don't know anything about what goes on there. But we'll see about that. And then it looked like, is it Dean and Chelsea are really flirting with each other? I think it was Aaron who's like, we got to put an end to that as soon as possible. So is he going to knock them off? One of them off? I hope not. That seems like something he might do as a gym owner. But anyway, as many other jobs. No, that's not the many other jobs. Ronnie is the one who had like a million different jobs. Aaron is just a gym owner, I think. Anyway, yeah, I'm excited to see what happens next. And I'm really glad that I'm caught up within 24 hours of the episode airing this time. And I didn't have anything spoiled for me. I just had the person who was eliminated last week spoiled for me, so it wasn't that. It eliminated a little bit of the mystery and excitement of the episode, but I'm so excited for next week. Let me know what you thought of this episode by tweeting me at TIW Podcast. Go to TIWpodcast.com for more reviews. If you enjoyed this episode or anything else on the site, please share some links with your friends. Subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, wherever you like to listen. Stay safe out there in all the infinite multiverses, and I'll see you next time here on TIW Podcast. Bye.